Hey everybody, this is Lucas Turner Harris. Thank you all for joining Forever Fatherhood and watching us on our video as we do another TSC and Me video starring Trinity. Welcome to part 5 of our video. We're going to talk about the lab work that Trinity had done recently. These labs that they do when you have Tuberous Sclerosis Complex are usually protocol. Some of the labs that they did on Trinity, they did a urinalysis, a protein check, a creatinine check, a renal function panel, and they'll check the vitamin D levels. The levels that they also checked were her trileptal levels. Trileptal is the name of the medication that Trinity takes in order to prevent her seizures or at least make them go unnoticed. More so controlled than unnoticed. There could be times that she's asleep and she could be having a seizure. However, we're just unsure if it's actually a seizure or if it's a involuntary arm spasm. It's definitely something to keep our eye out for. It's important to know a little bit about the TSC variants because every case of TSC is different. Some cases are mild and some are very complex. I think we're blessed with Trinity because she has a very mild case, at least because in her situation, she was able to be observed by her neurologist. Getting that information, we were able to pinpoint why she has the TSC, what that actually looks like, how it is affecting her specifically, and what we can actually do to help Trinity so she doesn't have to endure those forgetful moments anymore. It's been a blessing because Trinity was only 2 years old when she had her seizures. Since Trinity is 5 years old right now, I can say that she has done remarkable with her new medication. She's been on trileptal, also called oxcarbazepine, and she's been taking it ever since she discontinued Keppra. If you recall, in one of our earlier videos, she was taking Keppra when she was first diagnosed with seizures. Keppra is typically the medicine that they give you when you're in the hospital as just that baseline drug to try to, control the seizures. However, that did not control her seizures. She was still having seizures while she was asleep. She had hyperactivity, and they even gave her a loading dose, and that just totally hyped her all the way up. If you're familiar with having a toddler, you already know that if you take Keppra on top of being a toddler, you're basically a Hulk. If your little one has TSC, it's important that you follow up with every physician possible that they have referred you to. From seeing the ER physician in the hospital who made the diagnosis to actually seeing the consulting physician being the neurologist, you might see a ton of physicians, and that could be a dermatologist to check on the skin conditions if you have any lesions such as the ash leaf spots. You could see a nephrologist who is going to check on the kidneys of your child. You could also see a cardiologist, as the cardiologist might have detected some prenatal imperfections or congenital defects in the womb before your baby was born. Another physician you might be referred to see is an ophthalmologist because it's important to always check the eyes. Your child could be having eye strain, they might have vision blur, and all these are important when you have TSC. A lot of the tests that your child is going to be going through could be anything that stems from an MRI. That way they can check the brain and they can check the abdomen. Your child could also have an ultrasound. When they do the ultrasounds, they're just looking at the kidneys and they're looking at those organs just to make sure that there are no signs of tumors or tubers growing in places that they shouldn't be. In one of my prior videos, I talked to you guys about the in vitro genetic testing that my daughter and I did. Your child will submit a harmless saliva sample and, if necessary, a blood test. That's going to help your physician tell you if your child has TSC1 or TSC2 or not. If you have any worries as a parent, you can also get checked out yourself. If you think that that is a lot of testing, it's not a lot in order to make sure that your child is okay. One of the final tests that were performed for my child is a diagnostic test called an EEG or an electroencephalogram. The EEG is an electrophysiological monitoring method that records the electrical activity on the brain using electrodes on your child's scalp and is typically non-invasive. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about this, and I know it's a lot of information to take in. So without further ado, here comes Trinity from TSC And Me.
Hi.
All right, Trinity, are you ready to take over and talk to the viewers?
Yes. Hey everybody, welcome back to TSC And Me. How are you all doing? Aren't you gonna ask me? I'm good. Thanks for joining us in part 5 of TSC And Me. Wow, part 5. We're getting there. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how I'm doing. So not too long ago, we went to the doctor and got some lab work done. And they want to just make sure I'm okay. The doctors ordered some tests, and it turns out I'm okay. In a couple of months, I'm going to go back to the hospital to do another MRI.
Do you think MRIs are scary?
Yeah. And they do stuff to my arm and my belly.
Who does?
Doctors.
What do they do?
when they make us go to sleep, they scary. If you haven't had an MRI, this is what it's like. First, the nurse comes in your room, and they hook you up to an IV. Do you know what an IV is? It's something sharp they stick in your arm like a needle. And then they put medicine in it, and then you go to sleep. After your test, they wake you up, and then you get to go home. So hopefully, when I go back to the hospital, the doctors will give me good news. I want to show you what I take twice a day to help me not have seizures. Here's my medicine. You gotta spin me, Daddy. I take this twice a day. My dad takes the syringe and puts it in here. Thanks for watching part 5 on TSC And Me. Stay tuned for more episodes. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe.